there, guys. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Crafty Kathy. I was wondering if you guys are aware that Christmas is in 50 days from today. I was shocked when I pulled out the calendar because for some reason I'm always seeing it looming off in the distance, but when you put a number on it, it's like, whoa, it's close, like it's really close. You guys that follow my channel know that I did a craft fair this weekend. I did really good at the craft fair, and I just wanted to share with you one of my biggest sellers. It was actually a $45 item. A lot of times at the craft fair, the smaller items do better, like the little $5 items, the ornaments, the things like that. But nay, this pine cone tree that I made did so good. So I just thought that I would share it with you guys. Now, you don't have to be doing a craft fair to make this pine cone tree. You can just do it and put it out in your house, and you are going to be amazed if you make this tree. When you make it, like these pictures that I'm going to show you do not do this justice. Honest to the good Lord above, this is probably one of my favorite things that I've ever made. It's so simple and so beautiful, which, like I said last time, that's what Christmas is all about. The Christmas story is such a simple and beautiful story, guys, and it's so beautiful and it's just so true. And I hope that you guys will remember what Christmas is all about this year. And I wanted to show y'all my Christmas Snoopy sweater. Snoopy. I got me Snoopy sweater. I found my Snoopy sweater this weekend, and I told my husband, I don't care how much it costs, I want that sweater. It was a $50 sweater, which I don't usually spend that much on any article of clothing because I'm cheap. I do thrift store a lot of times, but you guys know my love for Snoopy because I just have such beautiful memories of Snoopy and laying on the couch and watching it with my mom when I was a kid. And those are things you can't get back. And Snoopy is my man, y'all. And I love him. I'm so in love with Snoopy. But anyway, this wasn't even about Snoopy. Okay, let's just sing our silly little theme song so we can jump into our DIYs. And by the way, if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I am so happy to have you. And if you guys are returning, you know I love you from the bottom of my heart. And here on my channel, our little motto is we have love and laughs and DIYs. We have so much love in our little community. Right here on this channel, we have huge love, and I am so thankful for that. We have the laughs because it's always a hoot around here. And of course, we have the DIYs. And that's how our silly little theme song came about. So let's just sing it and let's jump into this pine cone tree. Now, if you've never been to our channel before, this is the executive producer. And he makes me sing this silly little theme song every single week so he can be in the spotlight. So, are you ready to sing our silly little theme song? Okay. On our channel, we got love and laughs and DIYs. We got love and laughs and DIYs. We got some love and laughs and DIYs. We got love and laughs and DIYs. Yeah. Woo-hoo-hoo, baby. Yeah. Let's get into this pine cone tree.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night underneath the mistletoe. And I've gotten you a present that I put under the tree. Tomorrow it is.
Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I just wanted to share with you my pine cone tree that I made for a recent craft fair. It was a big seller for $45. all I did was take one of these simple little cones. Now this is one of those cones. I have like a bunch of these. My daughter played soccer. We bought a bunch of these cones, and it just kind of, you know, it's the little caution cones. So all you got to do is get any kind of masking tape, and you want to wrap it around your cone because we're going to have to paint that. And, you know, I cut two little sides of that bottom part off there. The little, you see the squares that's actually holding that cone up. And I don't know why I cut those off, because when I cut two off, I realized I didn't have to do that because it actually is covered up by the pine cones. So see, you go all the way up to the top, and as you get up to the top, you push your tape in just a little bit. And I painted this bottom part white only because it was so bright orange and we wanted to get everything so we could cover it. See where I cut those bottom two pieces off, and then I realized I didn't have to? I used Waverly Truffle chalk paint to paint it brown. That way, if any pine cones had little pieces in between them where you could see, you'll never know because it's brown in there. So these are the pine cones I use. They're a medium size, and they come from the Dollar General store. Now, all of these pine cones are ornaments, and they all have little hangers on the top of them. So I cut the hangers off, and they're all just about the same size. So I started off at the very bottom, and I used the biggest ones. And all you do is put a very generous amount of your hot glue down, and you go around. And that's all I'm doing here. I sped this part up so that this video would not just drag on and you would have to see me and be bored to death of me putting every cone on this tree. So you just go around and kind of fit your pieces in and make sure that they're going to look right. And before I would put the glue on, I would just check to make sure that it was going to fit and everything looked good. And when I started my second row here, what I did was go kind of in between the cones that are underneath, if that makes sense. Instead of going right on top of each other, you want to kind of stagger them so it looks more natural. And then we go all the way up the tree in this motion. Now, these packs do have a little bit of smaller cones in there, and you will use those as you get toward the top. I also used probably about 5 or 6 of those little small pine cones that come from the Dollar Tree. Those very small ones that come in a pack of like 20 or 30. I did use those, but I used those more for kind of fillers to fill in. So as you see, I'm using just about the same size, and I go all the way around. And I believe I told you at Dollar General is where you will find these. There's 12 in a pack of these pine cone, and they are $1 for each pack. It did take me 5 packs to do this tree, but I turned around at the craft fair and sold this tree for $45. And it really didn't take that much time to make. It was very enjoyable to make. And guys, I'm not just saying this. This turned out to be one of the most beautiful and rustic things I think I've ever made. It's so farmhouse and just, I mean, the pictures can't do it justice. I just promise you, make you one. And you don't even have to have one of these cones. You can take one of those little forms from the Dollar Tree, wrap it up with your tape, and do the exact same thing. You will be amazed at how beautiful this pine cone tree is. Now here we're approaching the top, so I was a little more careful, and I started using the smaller pine cones. I did still use a couple of bigger ones, but in the holes I made sure to use the smaller pine cones. And there are a couple of places where you do need to use those very tiny pine cones from Dollar Tree, and if that doesn't fit, or you have an odd size of hole that you need to put a pine cone in, you can actually cut a piece of one of these pine cones off. Now, when this tree is all put together, you can't tell it whatsoever. The tree is gorgeous. So here I am approaching the very end of getting all my pine cones on. All the little holes that I have are very small now. So here I'm going to use one of these tiny little pine cones from the Dollar Tree. It fit right in there, no problem. And by the way, those are the ones, they come in a little net in case you don't know which ones I'm talking about. I'm actually using them right now, the very, very small ones. And here I'm just trying to wiggle a piece of that pine cone off to get it just a small piece on there, because I didn't need anything large. And with that, I completed all of the pine cones, and then we're going to go to the next step. In this next step, I was playing around. I knew I wanted some berries, but I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted them to look. So I was kind of playing around with placement and sticking a whole berry in there. And then I started realizing when I cut the berries down where there was no stem at all and just stuck them in between the pine cones, it looked so much better, like I'm doing here. I would take 3 to 4 berries at a time and just push them. I would put a little bit of glue and push them inside the pine cone where they would stay. Now, I purchased these berries at Walmart. They came from those picks that are 98 cents, and they have like, they're picks of just red berries. That's it. And they are from Walmart. And like I said, I would cut off about 4, maybe 3 or 4 at a time and just stick those all in my pine cone tree. Even the ones at the top that are kind of sticking out, I eventually take those out. But that's all there is to putting this pine cone tree together and putting your little berries on. And I am very quickly going through this part because I want to get to the bow part and show you how I made this adorable messy bow. It's rustic and farmhouse, and it's perfect for this pine cone tree. To make a messy bow, all you need is a bunch of different kinds of ribbon. Now, I started out with this 2-inch ribbon. I have snowflakes, and I have the black and red checkered pattern. I have some green that come from Hobby Lobby that has reindeer on it. And then I'm going to use a couple from the Dollar Tree. And basically, all you do is make an X. Do you see that? And I cut these 5 inches long. And you just basically make X's and you tie them in the middle. Now I have 3 large ones, and then I went with 2 smaller ones. And like I said, you just tie those in the middle. I tried several different things to go on top of my pine cone tree, but nothing fitted like that messy bow. It just went with it, and with it being kind of like messy and rustic looking, it just fit the vibe. Now, the beauty of the messy bow is you can make it as big or little as you want. You can use as many ribbons as you want. You do what you like. Here I'm using the dryer, and it helps to get all those spider webs of the hot glue off. That's a little tip. And if you ever get your little spider webs all over the place where the hot glue kind of makes strings, you just run your dryer or your little heat tool over it and it'll get rid of it. Here I am dry brushing some white chalk paint. All I'm doing is making it look flocked because I love for everything for Christmas to look like it's got snowy beautifulness on it. So I did it over my berries and my pine cones. All I did was take my little distressing brush, I dip it in my white paint, and I get most of it off, and then you just run it all over your pine cone tree and the berries. Here I'm making a base for my tree. This is just one of those little boxes that comes from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just giving it a couple of coats of my white chalk paint just to cover up what's already on it. And I decided when I finished my pine cone tree not to glue it to this base. That way, if the person that bought it at the craft fair didn't want it stuck on the base, they wouldn't have to have it on the base. So here I'm taking those half beads that I purchased at Amazon. They're in my Amazon store, and it's always linked in my videos if you guys want some or need some. And I'm just using my Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm running it over them and wiping it off with a baby wipe. I'm just going to put a couple of these on the corners of my little white box or my base that my tree is sitting on. And it's just for a little added touch because it looked kind of plain just being white. So all I did was put these on the corners. I put 2 on each side, just on the corners. And it was the perfect touch. It wasn't too much and it wasn't too little. And of course I had to throw a little bit more snow in there. I did take my Waverly Antique Wax and distress around that base just a little bit. And I finished off my bow with a beautiful country button. It's a big size button and I stuck it right in the middle. I like for all of my bows to be finished off in the middle with some kind of embellishment because it kind of gives it that little extra something something, you know what I mean? So I stuck this little button right in the center, and that button is one that actually came out of a pack of stuff from the Dollar Tree. And I think at this point I was just gluing the bow down, and that's it, guys. Look at how beautiful this is. I hope you guys will make one of these. You are going to love it. You will be surprised at how beautiful this is. It's going to add beauty to anybody's Christmas. And guys, these would be great for a present. I'm telling you, the people at the craft fair went crazy over this. I hope that you will make one. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. We would love to have you as part of our family. We do a lot of giveaways, and our motto on our channel is we have love and laughs and DIYs, and boy, do we ever. We always have a good time. Guys, I love y'all, and I thank you so much. Don't leave yet, because we have the bloopers, and I have something I got to tell you. Now, this video is going to be in collaboration with my YouTube bestie, Kathy Jo. And I'm going to show you her in just a moment, because when you're finished watching my video, I hope that you'll go check her out because you're going to love her. She is a hoot. She is funny as all get out, and she is a mess, guys. If y'all think I'm crazy, she's 2 times crazy, okay? Just saying. But y'all are going to love her. And this tree turned out to be 1 foot tall, and it was probably a good 8 pounds. It was so heavy. I was so pleased with this. Now let me tell you guys about my little bestie, Kathy Jo. Her channel is Kathy Jo DIY, and I'm definitely going to leave that down in the description box below. I want you guys to go check her out. If you've never watched her, you will laugh the whole time that you're watching her because she's so funny. She gets like giggling at herself, and it's just hilarious to watch her. And lately her numbers have been soaring because people are just seeing how amazing she is. She's an awesome crafter and an awesome friend. When I started off with YouTube, it was about a year ago. I was ready to throw in the towel, and then one of my awesome subscribers, Miss Rita, sent me to Kathy Jo, and I am so glad she did. Put your Depends on, guys, because you're probably going to wet yourself from laughing so hard. Now let's jump into my bloopers real quick. I was wondering if you guys are aware that my camera is shaking wildly. Could it ever just be easy? I was wondering if you guys are aware that Christmas is in 50 days. Like the 25th is actually from 50 days from today. So the 49th, Christmas Eve, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh my gosh. What is wrong with my brain and why does it think this way? Yeah. Woo-hoo, baby. Yeah. Let's get into this pine cone tree because his breath is killing me.
Everybody to you, Noah, because the stupid camera